Hi, welcome to Spiritually Fit for the Kingdom. I'm Regina Cade, and I'm so glad that you've joined me. If it's your first time, welcome. I want to just let you know, hey, we are here because we are women of faith who are just achieving and striving to have emotional and spiritual well-being and balance that will lead to further intimacy with the Father. Every now and then, I would like to just kind of look at our celebrity culture and, since it's something that we're familiar with and that we're close to as a whole, and we can make various observations and gain understanding for the behaviors that we may see and that we may identify with in our own life, strictly to shed light on and to be able to bring awareness to this area of emotional and in spiritual and mental well-being in our community. So here, as you can see, the title of this video has to do with Simone Biles. Of course, she has been in media recently from withdrawing from the Olympics competition. And so wanted to learn a little bit more about her and really look at the traumatic events that could have possibly affected her. And so as we look at some of the things that I've researched that I'll share with you, we can definitely kind of see a pattern of, just traumatic events that she's had to go through from a young age. So one of those being, her mother having a history of substance abuse and addiction. She also didn't have her dad in her life, and there is some criminal history as well in his background. She was given up for adoption along with her siblings as well when she was a toddler. And so I know that too, those things alone, just going through those things alone could really, really impact a person's life long term. Also, we see that even as a gymnast, she's had to experience some pretty, negative traumatic events as well, from body shaming from a coach when she was a teenager, also being sexually assaulted by the USA team doctor at that time. So these are things that she had to endure. I think there was even some talk in the media about some racist comments being made during one of the competitions and things of that nature. So she's had to, deal with a lot. And I know that as a gymnast as well, I can sense that there was probably a lot of, mental toil and, things that, a professional athlete has to go through that can really impact, who they are in a negative, adverse way. And so these are the type of things that I just in my research have seen that she has had in her life. And so we know that these can be really, really impactful. So there's also some things that we need to really just acknowledge, those things that have happened to her and things that happen to us. It's not always a direct impact on you. It's not always a physical thing that causes us trauma. It can be indirect, like divorce or the loss of a parent or bullying or maybe it's just something, for me, I recall when we had this huge like straight line windstorm come through our city when I was probably about 5 or 6, and it knocked over like these big trees. It was just loud sounds and just a really horrific night. And I just remember how traumatized I was and so afraid. And to this day, I do not like to see, trees like swaying heavily in the wind, because it kind of makes me think about that. But these type of things can be traumatic, especially to a mind that's in the developmental stages of as far as for a child. But I also want to look at some statements that she made before we get to the crux of this video. She made a statement as she released a statement of withdrawing from the competition. It was saying something to the effect of that we hope America still loves us, which to me implies that there may be some type of insecurities associated with her thoughts of how others feel about her and her performance. Professionals will say and speak to this and call this a condition of worth, where a person really gets their self-esteem from and self-worth from their performance. If they can perform well, and the better that they are and that they do and excel, then the more rewards are given to them. And so sometimes they can use that as a determination for their self-worth and value, and their self-esteem comes from that. And so that could be something as well that she's struggling with. And so I know that as a person too that has struggled with perfectionism and stuff like that, I know that can be a really hard place, and it's easy to draw upon others that that celebrate you, and can create this illusion of being okay because others are okay with you. And so there's definitely some things that have to be processed with God and really get an understanding of that. Another thing that she said had to do with just her parenthood. So she spoke of how, she's never really wanted to have a relationship with her mom, and neither have she's ever wanted to know who her dad was. And she talked about how that this is sometimes goes against the grain of most children that have been given up for adoption, and where they have this void within them that they need to have filled. And so, I would kind of question that and wonder if that is particularly some avoidance there. I respect the commentary. I respect her thoughts and about that, but one would have to wonder. It's just natural for us to have connection, and especially when it comes to like our parents. And I know me as myself growing up without a father, I've always wanted to know who he was, even though I heard the stories about, being the direct, rejection of my existence. I still wanted to had a need and a yearning to want to know who he was and, pursue that. And so I don't know. You guys leave in the comment if any of you have ever grown up without a parent in your household. What do you feel that it was as well for you, something that you've always wondered about, and it kind of lingered in your back of your mind of who and what that person was like and could have been. But needless to say, like I said, this could possibly be linked to avoidance as well. And so just the suppressing of emotion. And so I know that that's probably a lot of what she does in her field as well, because, being able to, be okay with mistakes and suppressing the emotion that, may sometimes impact you can be a real issue. And I even in my research saw that she had a coach that really told them to suppress their emotion, during times of competition. And so, that is something. So, just to kind of, wrap this up, this is just a lot of things to just have to experience in our life. And so adverse childhood, experiences, can be, can have a huge impact on us. And so these emotions go in, all of these things that she has been through, but, we have to make sure that, that we do process them. And so I'm going to link a video here, if you as well are going through some things and you really desire to, process these things with God, because I do believe that this is like the ultimate way to process them, because he's the one that designs us and he knows exactly how to fix us. And so going to him is like my ultimate goal and message for women in the body of Christ, is to know that, hey, God gives you something better than just being able to cope. He gives you something which is called healing, complete healing, and a way to be able to press forward and persevere in life and still have a genuine joy about it. We can't choose the things that have happened to us. We can't choose the families that we're born into. But God offers us a solution that is just incomparable to anything. Reaching after the world will never solve our problems. And so my prayer for her, of course, is that she does continue on in this journey of, she mentioned, mental health was something that's important to her. I applaud her for, taking this courageous move, of just, not letting herself down by, just going forward and trying to please other and put herself at risk. But I think it sends a loud message about self-care and the importance of it. And so I appreciate her. Shame on anyone that would be insensitive and, not show enough mercy and just want to shame her for that. But that took a lot of courage to do that. And so my prayer is that she continues to process what's going on in her life, but do it with God as well. Not just make this a journey for self. And that, she just reached this place of emotional and, and mental wholeness that can, like I said, only be found in God. And so if this video has been helpful for you, if you, agree that, hey, a lot of the culmination of things that she has experienced in her life and the pressures of, performance have probably had a lot to do with what she's gone through today, leave me a comment below and let me know what you think about what she's going through as well. Also share this video, because this type of thing, like I say, needs a lot of awareness be brought to the body of Christ so that we can start dealing with the emotional upsets and the traumatic events that happen in our life, so that we can better connect with others, better connect even with ourselves, and ultimately connect better with God. Because when we have these things, these unresolved things that are going on in our soul, these soul wounds, they definitely impact our faith. All right, until next time, I hope this video has been helpful to you. Like, share, and subscribe.